Ginger Ale. And Chris Rush.
AKA Coffee Black.
Returning mascot,
Alex the Last Troll.
special guest, and Knoxville legend, Jay Kendrick.
I'll just wipe my ass with one of your cards.
Tap, 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 tap. Ho!
Hello world, welcome to episode 5 of Tap and Sec. I am one of your hosts, Houston Whitehead, and Chris Rush.
AKA
We also have
Chocolate
our...
Thunder. Get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
And our returning mascot, Alex Clark. he's the nut sack that walks around the field. Yeah. And our special guest and Knoxville legend, Jay Kendrick. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Jay, let's kind of intro yourself about how long you've been playing and favorite set and favorite card. Just kind of go through a general synopsis of your Magic career and kind of where you stand. And then we'll just kind of go from
Let
there.
the
And
people know about you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my name is Jay Kendrick. I have been playing since about on and off since Ice Age. I would have to say that my favorite set would it would probably be Ravnica. I know that's kind of a cop out, and that's usually everyone's favorite set. But I just feel like they really hit it out of the park with that set. They basically gave like all types of players of every archetype like cards that they would want to use. Like, I mean, Dark Confidant, Remand, like, you know, even like the casual kids get stuff like Glimpse the Unthinkable and like, you know, goofy cards like that. But like they gave something to everyone, and that's what I liked. Let's
Sweet.
see. My favorite color is blue. Duh. What a shocker. My favorite card, I have two, and they're for two different reasons. The first card is really because it just brings back a lot of fond memories, was Vindicate. And the reason why, and this is like a grown man story, is that when I was younger, I think I was probably like 14, 15, and the set had just released. And it was snowing, and like they had just opened the doors, and I literally walked all the way to this card shop, probably 30-minute walk in the snow, like trudging through snow to pick up 4 copies of Vindicates. Yeah, no joke.
the epic journey.
I would say like more so as like a I love to play this card kind of card would probably be Force of Will. Like I just feel like if I have a Force of Will and a blue card in my hand, that like not even God can touch me. You know, like
Yeah. You should have said Delver, but Chris would probably try to chop your dick off.
well,
Nobody likes Delver in real life.
Stupid as shit.
Holy hell.
Forcing your way
Vindicate's
to the top.
$30?
Yeah.
it's because that card's just still good. Like,
Oh my god.
and what's funny is like it's really like in Legacy, it's really only played in one deck, and that deck's not even good. Like,
Snapcaster Vindicate? Yeah, you got it, dickbag.
Do you say that after every time we talk about instant or sorcery?
Yeah, bro. Thanks for
I
catching
like
on.
that's kind of what Snapcaster.
Cruel ultimatum.
Snapcaster Cruel got you good.
And if they didn't die the first time they got cruel, they died the second time. So, what about some of your Magic goals that you've met? I don't know if you like really set any maybe when you were starting, but what's some things that you're proud of? Maybe some tournaments you've played, or sometimes you just had a hot streak, or you're at the top of your game, or whatever.
Yeah, with some career highlights and all that.
Yeah. Give us a highlight reel.
I think the really big first breakout I ever really had. You guys may not remember this. The Junior Super Series, if you've ever heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Negative.
This was a little while back. Like this really had its heat during the Mass to Mirrodin eras. Basically, what it was a pro tour for 18 and younger.
Oh.
And it was pretty cool. I liked the JSS for 3 reasons. Number one, I felt like it gave kids a reason to want to actually like learn the game and be good at it, and you know, learn the fundamentals. Because the big prizes were like college scholarships and crazy stuff like that.
Sweet.
And I kind of wish they brought that back, because I think it gives kids more of an incentive to stop. You know, like, oh, well, I just play this game for fun. Well, now, like, you have a chance to pay for your schooling. You know, you have a chance to pay for your future.
And also get your parents behind you too. Like
Oh.
people are like, "Oh, you're wasting your time playing a card game," and you're like, "Shut up, mom! I get $100,000
Oh
from
no,
my
like
college."
like when I told my mom about the JSS, she was like, "Oh well, that's great." And then she heard about the scholarship, and she was like, "So what's this Vindicate, and how many of that do you need?" Like,
I support this addiction.
also, like, I feel like I learned a lot from the JSS. I did pretty well. I had a couple top 8s in the JSS. I made finals of one, and yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but I got blown out pretty much. After that, I kind of was just kind of like a little local hero, you know, when I was 16. Quit for a little while, came back around Champions, did some drafting. I really was on a hot streak in, I think, 2010 to 11 was really where I started to gain, like, all this, you know, notoriety or whatever. You know, I don't think much of it. But I was tearing up some PTQs. I won 2 PTQs. I think, like, my biggest tournament win was a 300-man PTQ where I was playing a deck called Rug Force. It was a Rug Destructive Force with this was right after Titans came out, and like right after. Well, the funny thing is that this was in the era of Jund and Mythic, so Titans don't really fit those decks. And,
Funny story, I played you while you were playing that deck. Got my face stomped. I know what it is.
Yeah, you played that deck. It was
I
good.
remember that deck.
The whole point of the deck was like ramp, land a Jace, land a Titan, D-Force. I have Titan and Jace. This game's fun.
Seems good.
Yeah, I ended up winning that PTQ. People can give me some crap over this, and they have in the past, but I did not attend the Pro Tour. It had a lot to do with personal reasons, and it was half personal reasons and half me kind of not having my shit together and not really taking it seriously. Like, hey, this is your shot.
Yeah.
That's like probably my biggest regret was not taking it seriously and not thinking like, hey, you could go and do this. And yeah, I think my big thing is that I was afraid that I wouldn't do well and it would basically be a waste of a trip or a waste of money or whatever. But now that I look back on it, I think even if I didn't do well, I think the experience that I could have gained from that would have been like, I mean, I don't want to sound corny, but like priceless, you know?
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. That totally makes sense.
So that's definitely like my biggest regret. I think one of the bigger accomplishments that I'm really proud of is that for about 8 months, I was the highest ranking player in Knoxville.
Nice.
I think I was like 6th in the state, and I was real proud of that. Also, speaking of state, last year I top 8'd states with Wolf Run.
Sweet.
Nice.
I know about that.
Yeah, top 8'd last year. Well, you would know if those lazy ass Nashville bastards would have put the deck lists up. Like I have a top 8 playmat that says I made states, but there's no online proof, and it pisses me off. Like, makes me so angry.
So you didn't, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. It's all a farce. After that, I just kind of stayed more locally. I got into a really serious relationship after that, and we're still.
What's his name? I'm just kidding. You don't have to plug her. Him.
Well, his
Her.
name's Houston. No, I'm just kidding.
There we go. Thanks for the
Actually,
plug.
I am going to plug her. Her name's Delilah. She's amazing. That's all I'll say. But she's awesome.
Oh
Hey there,
man,
Delilah.
so many plain white tea references. That's gonna
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah, she gets a lot of shit for it, and it drives her nuts.
Oh, I bet.
But
Hey, here's a question. Is Delilah a listener of this show?
she
How's that?
will be.
She
will
is
be?
now.
Oh, okay.
No, she is now. Like, you don't understand. Like, you know how like girlfriends, like, they're usually pretty like. Most of them are like, they obviously care about you, but they're very casual and like, you know, they're not like freaking out. Like, I'm pretty sure that like I could like record me taking a shit and she would watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
like it's that much of an admiration, and I've never
what
had.
goes on in your bedroom, Jay, is and Delilah.
Chris Rush, we like to get freaky. All right, what do you
I
want?
hear you. Cleveland
ready?
Steamers.
You ready,
everywhere.
girl? I'm gonna shit on you.
But anyway, I'll wrap up the little accomplishment thing. So I basically just, you know, try to stay more focused on my relationship. I still went to FNMs and like I would go to opens and help people out and like help them with testing. I've had a lot of guys come over and test with me. A lot of like random people that just want to get better at the game. But then I got really sick of paper. I just had a streak where I was playing fine, but I was just getting sick of the personalities. And there were just certain people that were really rubbing me the wrong way and making Magic like not fun anymore. You know?
It's a good time to stop.
So I took a break and jumped on Moto. I do have some Moto accomplishments. I have about 9 4.0 deck lists on TCG Player.
Nice.
A lot of them are Haunted Humans because Like, Haunted Humans, I don't think Haunted Humans is like an amazing deck, but if the nut draws in that deck are pretty ridiculous, like turn 1 Champion, turn 2 Grand Abolisher, like turn 3 like Iron Crusader, like for a deck like Delver, that's like really hard to beat, like especially if you're just following it up turn after turn.
What's the haunted part? Is it just the midnight haunting?
It was Moorland Haunt.
Moreland. Okay.
It's Splash Blue for Moorland Haunt, and obviously Geist of St. Traft, because that's probably one of the best 3-drops ever printed, in my opinion.
Fair.
The 3-drop Michael Jordan.
He's all right.
He
But
said
yeah,
it. You're already here.
I mean, aside from some, like GPT wins, I don't really count GPTs. Like, 'cause to be honest, it's basically like a glorified FNM with a big prize.
Yeah.
So I don't really consider those like big achievements or like the invitational qualifiers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, on a side note, I did make $200 today in the 1K at Westtown. So.
Nice.
So that was
the
today?
best blowjob received.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
But
So
no,
what place was that?
we split top 4.
Oh.
It was me, Tom Manuel, and 2 other guys.
2 other scrubs. No, nobody cares about them. How
Well,
many people were there?
it was like 38. It's not terrible.
Dude, that's a really good
For Sunday,
1K.
that's amazing. Like, for Sunday, that's great. Like,
38 for a 1K. That's low. That's awesome.
Was it day 2? Or is it just...
it's just one day.
What
We
format?
38 people and play for.
We played 6 rounds with a cut to top 8.
Man, I would have totally played in that.
Yeah, why didn't they promote that more?
They basically put up an event, and then like the day before, they're like, all right, here's the 1K. So like people that didn't see the event ahead of time were like, wait, what the fuck? I have plans now. Thanks, dickheads. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I didn't have the money to play in it, but that's like 38 people, $1,000. Like, that's pretty good.
I mean, we got in top 4, and they were just like, hey, do you want to split? And me, being the greedy son of a bitch that I am, I was like,
Let's play.
I'm Jake Kendrick, and I'm fucking playing Delver. I'll be fine. And then I was like, no, come on. Like, yes, you might be more talented than the other 2, but Tom is definitely a tough challenge, and he's a good player. And that's who I was paired against. And I was like, if it's anyone but Tom, I'm going for it. But they're like, it's you and Tom. And I was like, well, like, me and Tom are pretty even. I think I'm ahead of him, like, lifetime in wins, but he's still, like, a very dangerous opponent that knows how to play Magic. And I was just like, $200 or $100? Let's go with $200.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
Those decisions are hard. I hate that when there's like, you want to split? And I'm like, fuck no. And then I get like,
Crushed.
screwed game 3 or something. And I'm like, God damn it, I should have split. And then when you
I love
split,
it when
you go
that shit
home
happens.
and you're like, oh, I had $15, but I could have had like 35.
Yeah, like
God
the
damn it, I
worst,
should have
the
stayed.
worst feeling about that is like when you feel really confident, and like you don't mean to be a dick when they're like, "Hey, you want to split?" And you're like, "No," because like you feel confident in your matchup, or like even confident that you're the more competent player, and then whatever may happen and you lose, then you just look like a giant tool.
I
Yeah.
love it when that happens.
Yeah, I was in Murfreesboro and we
Like,
did a
take it,
darkest.
fucker.
We did a Darkest Ascension Innistrad draft, and a lot of people had not drafted the set. I had drafted a little bit in Maryville, but I had just got back to Murfreesboro, and no one had drafted, so I was like kind of ahead of everyone because I kind of already knew what to pick, and everyone was passing me green cards, so I took every fucking green dude and made mono green in a draft.
Wow.
And did not lose a match. And the way ours works is you play 4 or 5 rounds, and then they top 8. And then, it's single elimination. So when you get to top 8, you play around, and if you lose, you're out. But the only time you can split is top 4.
Right.
So I get to top 8 and get land fucked twice. I don't know if I just shuffled bad twice. I did double pile shuffles.
Mm-hmm.
And just the wrong number of piles or something. And just, I kept a 2-land hand and a 3-land hand. And did not get there. And I was so mad because I was on such a high. And I just